everyone, it's Jody Schwan from Sioux Falls Business. Welcome to another edition of Talent Thursday. We always enjoy these conversations in partnership with the Sioux Falls Development Foundation. Denise Gazzetta leads talent and workforce development there, and every week lines up an interesting guest for us, has done so yet again this week. Hi, Denise. Why don't you go ahead and introduce us?
Hi, Jody. Let's welcome Emily from Good Samaritan and Sanford to our show today.
Hi,
Emily,
thank
thanks for
you.
being here. So,
Thank you so much.
what is your role within the Sanford organization, Emily? What do you do?
Yeah, so my title is a sourcing specialist. So I actually recruit for all the non-clinical roles at Sanford and the Good Samaritan Society. And I know a lot of people when they think of jobs at those organizations, they think, nursing, doctors, and all of our clinical staff. But as I said, I do it on the non-clinical side. So anything from maintenance, patient access representatives, environmental services to, HR, IT, finance, all those good things.
Oh, fantastic.
For the
Yeah, because
magic word, finance.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's just it because when you hear healthcare as a
Right.
field, you think those patient-facing roles, maybe a laboratory role, something like that. And this is such a large organization that just like any large organization, you need all of these administrative and operational functions, right?
Exactly. I think of Sanford as kind of a little city and that you need all
Yeah.
these different departments in order to operate as a whole. And what I really like about Sanford is that we talk about how we are all caregivers. An environmental services technician, they're the ones keeping our facilities clean and helping further infection when you're at the hospital. And that is, part of your care. And I could say that for any of our roles. So it's really nice to know you can use those non-clinical skills and still make a difference in those patients' lives.
And you need a lot of those people, don't you? I mean, these
Yes.
are very large organizations. One of the things that's always fun for me in covering Sanford and Good Samaritan is they're always doing something new. These organizations are always building, they're evolving, they're growing. So with that, I'm guessing comes the need for more people and in your role, right? What's it looking like here as we start the year off and we look towards spring? Do you guys have a fair amount of openings?
Yes, yeah, of course, like you said, we're a large organization, so there are always openings in my non-clinical areas. It just kind of differs on which area at which different time. So I know right now we just opened up our applications for our summer internships for the non-clinical areas. So right now those are getting posted on our Sanford Careers website where we post all of our jobs. And then we have quite a bit of growth in our IT department as well. So seeing a lot of jobs getting posted there in the next coming months.
Do you have opportunities for people? I mean, we're looking at graduation here. We've got new college grads coming up. Do you have those entry level positions?
Yes, absolutely. So we have the entry level, more in those corporate services, like I mentioned, IT. One that we see a lot of new grads go into is our associate help desk technician position, or a technology systems specialist. Those are popular ones. But then, of course, there are openings in other areas as well. And then the entry level ones that I talked about, patient access rep. Those are great ones to start in as well if you are looking to get more healthcare experience. Those are the people that are sitting maybe at like the front desk of a clinic. They're kind of that first face you see. They're getting that patient interaction, but also working on the back end with some of that medical documentation, medical language. So I always say that's a great place to start as well if you're looking to get into the industry.
Well, and I know Denise, for you, even working with your Career Connection students in high school, I mean, we see some of them taking on roles probably within Good Samaritan, within Sanford. You've done tours. What's kind of your message to students or new grads in particular when you look at the opportunities available here?
I say always go to companies that can take you and grow with you. So, and they're going to invest in you. And Sanford and Good Sam are companies that do that. I mean, there are organizations that have a lot of people like Emily, that they bring you in, and then they have all of these specialists that come around. I mean, we work very closely with the people that are working with high schoolers, and they provide a lot of very good guidance about come here, work with us. We'll get you through school. Once you're through school, this is where we're going to get you certified, and this is where we're going to continue to build. And that's really the message. A lot of young people today, and good for them, they don't want to take on a lot of debt, right? And so they think about the ways that they can just equip themselves and grow. so that they can earn more. And I love what Emily described. We're a community within a community, because it really is. You truly don't, until you do a tour and you go on site, you realize just how much is really going on behind the scenes, to make sure that, again, they're caring for people, but they're all together coming with their different specialties. So I just love the way she described that.
Yeah, and Good Samaritan too. I think it's important to point out people maybe don't remember that Good Samaritan is part of Sanford Health. There's a lot of building going on, a major new development in the southeast part of town. I'm excited to see that get rolling this spring. And you've got probably a nice variety of roles behind the scenes supporting that organization too, Emily.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. On the Good Samaritan Society, we see more of the non-clinical support services. So if you think like an activities coordinator, doing fun activities to enrich the lives of our residents, as well as maintenance, we have those environmental services technicians there as well. So those are some of the types of roles we see on the Good Samaritan Society side.
I love that.
Yeah, and the culture too, I think within Good Samaritan has been fun to watch. There's always been a culture of innovation within that organization. I mean, they're leaders in their industry, and I think that shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you think about the care that's provided there, and also giving people, sort of all of those things that we know make life so much, richer. I love that. So I love the activities. I go on, I visited people before, I've been on site on tours, and I can tell you it's really a good environment. So
Yeah, and that makes it personal for me. I know some my grandparents-in-law are at a Good Samaritan Society facility in Sioux Falls, and it just brings it close to home thinking about recruiting for, food services workers that's going to be serving that nutritious food to them, and like you said, the fun activities, and it just makes it that much more real.
Mhm. For sure. I think sometimes when people look at an organization like Sanford or even Good Samaritan, it can feel a little overwhelming. I mean, you go to that careers page and it's kind of like, how do I start? But if they're intrigued and maybe they've got an IT background or they've got, a financial services background, what do you suggest? How do they figure out maybe where the best fit might be?
Yeah, that's a great question. So on our Sanford Careers website, like I said, all of our jobs are posted there. There's also a tab that says Connect with Us, and there's two sections within that. So the first one I'll talk about is our talent community. So if you're maybe looking for something and you're not seeing an open job in a certain area that you're interested in, you can join. If you need help with, exploring different careers, that kind of thing, I would recommend joining. Essentially, you fill out a form just kind of talking about your interests. And one either me or someone on my team would then connect with you. And there's some services that we offer, like I mentioned already, that career exploration. I can kind of sit down one-on-one. We can talk through what you're looking for, either put it with a position that we have, or I can put in like an alert if that position comes up to let you know. Another thing that my team does is mock interviews. So if you identify the position, or even you don't even have to get that far. If you just want to practice your interview skills in general, I can sit down with you, ask you those questions, and give you feedback in real time. And then we also do resume reviews. You can come to us, and we can either help you build it, we can help you enhance it, or if you want it tailored to a specific job. Our talent community is really there for career exploration and to make you the best candidate that you can be, which is really important to us. And then another thing that I recommend people do, that other section within that Connect with Me tab is our events page. You can see all of the events that my team is going out to, whether that's a career fair or an event that we're putting on ourselves. I highly recommend that if there's an event that interests somebody, that they attend, just because that one-on-one FaceTime with somebody, either a hiring leader or a recruiter, is really good networking. And there may be something out there that you didn't even know exists. I'm learning about positions all the time at Sanford, and I do this for a living, just because there's so many different jobs out there. And
that's so true.
sometimes you don't know it's out there until you go to an event and talk to someone, and then you can get your questions answered as well. So those are kind of the top two things that I recommend people do if they're needing some extra assistance.
I'm so glad you talked about this because I do think it just makes a big organization seem so much more accessible. I mean, Denise, it takes a little bit to even pull that off, but it's impressive that they're doing it.
Absolutely. I continue to think just the way. So if you think about in the past, is kind of like and I think about HR even, right? What do people do? And
Right.
so just kind of breaking down those barriers, being able to explain, and then saying, here, come to us, we'll help you at this, we'll help you at this. Really what it is it's that whole engagement piece. And parents, take advantage of this. Get your kids connected with Emily. She can help them because we all know in today's world, we need to be connected, right? And you may discover, as have I, I grew up with a family, my husband, and I've told many people this, they're all medical doctors. He didn't want to go into medicine, so we thought, well, that was it, right? No more careers. But certainly, if he had met somebody like Emily years ago, he probably could have said, you know what? Those hospital systems hire lawyers. And
Absolutely.
so, right.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and and what you get though, and what I find is people stay. There's a high retention, and that's because there's room for growth. There's a lot of availability there to invest and to have different experiences. It's no surprising, Emily, that you're hiring a lot of IT. I've been reading a lot about the investments and that, and so I just think it's really a good opportunity. And I love the fact that you guys make yourself open, and you just want to engage people in the community because at this time, we really need a lot of that. So,
You. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are surprised when I tell them that I can do those services, and they're like, "For free? You do that for free?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here to help you, and I'm here to be a resource for you." And I think that is important to them.
Yeah. I love that. How did you get into your field and how did you connect to Sanford?
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Sioux Falls, so of course I had heard the name, but again, I was one of those people that thought, clinical staff, and so I went to Augie and I went for a business communications degree, kind of thinking nonprofit work, wanted to help people. Of course, that's really broad. You can do a lot of things under that umbrella. And I was really good at narrowing it down in that I didn't want to do certain things, but I was one of those students that really didn't know what they wanted to do until my senior year of college. I got more interested in HR. And as I was looking at full-time roles, I realized I didn't really have the experience yet, and I didn't feel comfortable since I had just gotten interested in my late in my senior year. And I saw that Sanford was hiring for a talent acquisition intern. And I never really considered an internship post graduation. I didn't know that I would be even eligible, but it looked really interesting to me and found out that I was eligible. So I went ahead and did that. Loved it here. And I knew I wanted to stay. I loved the culture and the people I got to work with. So then my first job after the internship was an administrative assistant for HR, supporting the department. And then from there, I went to an executive assistant, again for HR leadership, supporting them and the department as well. And then now I'm in my sourcing specialist role. So, and I love being here, and I feel like Sanford HR has been really good to me. I still love the people and the culture here. So, yeah.
Well, and I love that you grew up here, you went to college here, and you stayed here, which is kind of like the trifecta. Sometimes they grow up, away and they
Oh,
come back,
great.
or they grow up somewhere else and they come for college and they stay. So, you I'm sure could have done many things. What has kept you in Sioux Falls, each of those stubs?
Yeah, so I love Sioux Falls. I love to travel and see other places, but I always have felt like Sioux Falls is my home. My favorite part of Sioux Falls is downtown. And I feel like what's kept me here especially is that it feels big enough where there's still lots to do. That I'm doing new things all the time. And I get to show my friends who aren't from the area also these things that are special to me. But then it's also kind of got a little bit of that small town energy where people are still very kind and you can run into somebody, at a coffee shop. So I really enjoy that balance and just being in the Midwest, where it feels like a great community. So yeah, I love Sioux Falls.
And safe. You're safe.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
All right. Well, before we let you go, she already mentioned this, but if you're just tuning in or maybe you don't remember, best way to connect with Sanford Health, Emily?
If you join our talent community, we will reach out to you and get connected with you that way. So again, that's on our Sanford Careers website. There's a connect with me tab and then join our talent community.
Okay. Sounds good. Denise, any closing thoughts for you?
No, just thank you, Jody. It's good to be back. 2025. Good to meet Emily. It was my
Yeah.
first time meeting her face to face.
Yeah.
So
We're
love
glad
it.
to have you here. We're glad you're in talent acquisition, and hopefully we're able to connect some great people with you. So thank you for what you do in your organizations. Denise, thanks for another great episode, and we will be back next week. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you.